Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is another after party here with the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and that man, Andre Davis. The Panthers take care of business to knock off the rival Texas Southern Tigers by the score of 30-16. What's going on, Dre?
What's going on, Mike? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling better. I got a little ticked off toward the end. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. You already know what I'm talking about, don't you, Dre?
Yeah. You never satisfied, man.
I am satisfied, Dre, but you don't give up no big old play like that. Old defensive guy like me, I like them old defensive greats. But a good, strong performance for the Panthers tonight. Nico Hollins, what else can we say about this young man? He is definitely the chosen one.
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. The young man had another strong performance tonight. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, the future of this offense for this Panthers moving forward.
The future? What about the right now?
Well, obviously with another right now, the season's over. Moving forward, Mike. Moving forward, not in all seriousness. This young man is definitely, I feel like it's going to be the future of this Panthers moving forward. If they can do a great job in the off season, kind of building around him, I definitely feel like they can be effective moving forward. Absolutely.
Now you got a situation in the off season that you'll have to look at. You got three quarterbacks: McCullers, Hollis, and now Morton.
Yes, sir. You do.
Do you bring in another quarterback?
Well, I think at the quarterback position, you definitely can't go wrong with bringing in another quarterback. But at the same time, I feel like you can stick with Hollins. I feel like they're gonna try to use those other two guys. They tried to do it during this season. Try to use those other two guys, at different spots on the offense. They tried that with Morton, I guess, at the wide receiver position. I know for a fact you can definitely do that with McCullers because he's your athlete. So you bringing in another quarterback is never a problem. But I think their main concern is on the outside because of so many guys on the outside that they'll be losing this season. Very important guys at that.
Absolutely. You lost a trio that could really be unmeasurable in the likes of Tucker, Simmons, and, of course, Mr. Man himself out of Alcorn by way of Prairie View, Mr. Everything. 12 touchdowns in 6 weeks, man. That's amazing.
Yes,
Brother Hodge. He dropped one though tonight, man, wide open.
My goodness.
Would have definitely, took it to the house, but you know how that is. But Nico did a great job of spreading that ball around tonight.
He did, and that was one thing that excites me about this young man. His ability to spread the ball around and to share the love, and that's one of the things that he said during the pregame. One of his idols, that being Tom Brady, that he looks up to in terms of his leadership and just his ability to spread the ball. And I feel like that's one of the key things, as a quarterback, that we should definitely pay attention to. And now, of course, we know his favorite target, without a shadow of a doubt, is Kadero Hodge. But the fact that he was able to do it early on, Mike. He didn't start the season off with the Panthers. He didn't come in until they played Alcorn. But the fact that he was able to start that off so early and often definitely speaks volumes for this young man in the future.
Absolutely. You're talking about a roller coaster season for Nico emotionally. Had contemplated even quitting at one point, and finally gets a chance to come in, prove that he is worthy of being at that starter's position, and go in and execute. This kid throws 20 touchdowns, and you show up on the 5th week of the season. 20 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. Had another 300-yard night.
Yes, sir.
319 to be exact. Completed 63% of his passes. So this young man is definitely special. Again, we talked about his ability to spread the love around. Joshua Simmons got touches tonight. Darius Floyd got touches. Kadero Hodge, Zarian Holcomb, Quentin Bell. We saw it was only one touch, Mike, but we saw Quentin Bell.
Yes, I get excited. I get excited when I get a Quentin Bell sight, and I said, man, he was in there at a positive game. I think he picked up 8 or 9 yards on a little out route. But he's definitely going to be my X factor for the next season. Quentin Bell runs track for the Panthers. Exceptional speed. Had some hamstring troubles this season. They didn't want to take a chance of him blowing that thing out, risking him from any productivity for the future. But he's definitely one of my favorite guys out of California.
Oh, man, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I hate that we didn't get an opportunity to see him often this season. But the fact that they was able to figure that out and we were finally able to see him tonight, had one big play, as you mentioned, but he's going to be that guy who's going to have to step up. You know, you don't have Hyde, you don't have Simmons, you don't have Floyd, but he's going to be that guy that's going to have to step up with for the Panthers in their receiving core. For whoever they may bring in, you know, in the future, he's going to have to be the ringleader and lead the Panthers along with Hollins this upcoming season.
Now, I'm going to tell you somebody who really would be an outstanding receiver if they can get him to buy into it. Has all the natural abilities, has the speed, athleticism, and just raw natural talent. And that's Jalen Morton.
Oh, Jalen Morton, okay.
Jalen Morton is an athlete.
Yes, sir.
He's an athlete. He was the number 3 quarterback this year. They put him in at receiver some times throughout the course of the game. And because he's a quarterback, you can even throw him in on some razzle-dazzles as the Panthers pulled off tonight. They pulled all the punches tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. But if we can get Jalen Morton to buy into becoming a receiver/quarterback, there's no telling where that man can go as far as the next level is concerned and what the Panthers can do creatively from the offensive side of the ball.
Well, you know, that just shines some light on Coach Willie Simmons and his entire coaching staff, just for them to utilize what they have and, you know, just not letting a guy like Jalen Morton and his talents, you know, go to waste, you know, on the sidelines. Of course, you know, a lot of us, like including myself, thought that Jalen Morton would be would be like the number one guy in terms of your quarterback this year. You know, they did bring in the JUCO McCullers. But the fact that Jalen Morton took over last year at quarterback for Trey Green, we thought that he would be the guy getting a lot of the snaps behind the center this year. But the fact that they didn't let his talents go to waste because they saw what he can do, the fact that he's an athlete that you just mentioned of, and they was able to use that, you know, I definitely like that by this coaching staff.
Now, the only thing we got to do is get Nico to buy into that. If Nico can buy into that, then I'm serious. This is a slam dunk because, you know, sometimes when you have success in one position and you say, this is the position I play, I don't want to play anything else. You can be your own worst enemy at that point. But if you're going to be about moving forward and getting on the field, if you're competing at a Division I level, you want to get on the field whenever you can get on the field, whether it's at quarterback, kicker, or whatever the position that I'm playing. Nico is definitely your quarterback, your starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
When you look at the handwriting on the wall, if I'm McCullers and if I'm Jalen, I want to be able to get on the field whenever I can.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't want to just be holding a clipboard wearing a PV cap, not my helmet.
With the headphones on.
Yeah, with the headphones doing dummy signals and this, that, and the other. I want to get on the field whenever I can. And so I think you're going to have to bring in at least one other quarterback in the off season, if not 2. You know, maybe you can red shirt one, as the case was for Nico, and start building in that area of depth. We're doing the after party 1876 post-game show, the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and that man, Andre Davis, right here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. It's amazing, Dre, that this season has come and gone the way it is. The Panthers end up going 6-5 on the regular season, which has solidified 3 consecutive winning seasons under the leadership of Coach Shotgun Willie Simmons. Has not happened since Coach Henry Frazier was here with the Panthers when they won the championship in 2009.
Yeah, you know, that's in the Panthers, you know, they kind of start the season off a little rough. We did this show, Mike, after the Southern game back in the early part of November.
Actually, Grambling.
Yes, Grambling. But I was saying after we played Southern, in terms of what the Panthers needed to do after that loss against Southern, that 37-31 loss, what the Panthers need to do moving forward. And you predicted these next 3 wins that the Panthers need to get. That, of course, being against Arkansas Pine Bluff and Corner Word, and then here tonight against Texas Southern, that the Panthers needed these 3 wins to at least end the season, on a winning note. Obviously the record, isn't representative as to what you want the season to be like, but at least end it on a regular note, and the Panthers did that tonight.
Absolutely. I'd rather go 6-5 than 5-6, and Lord knows I'd rather not lose my last game of the season to Texas Southern.
Absolutely not.
So that has all been taken care of. We hit the trifecta on tonight. And speaking of the trifecta, let's talk a little bit about the Bayou Classic. We'll jump right back into some more in-depths of the Panthers. Congratulations to the Grambling State Tigers. They were victorious over Southern Jags by the score of 30-21. A very competitive game, good game. I watched it up to time to check on the Panthers, of course, but you got to tip your hat to Coach Fobbs and the Tigers. This is their 4th title, but what's more important and what's more impressive to me, 25 consecutive conference wins.
That's unbelievable.
Yes, that's almost like cheating, isn't it? If you didn't know no better, you'd be saying they cheating.
Well, they got to be cheating.
No. I'm not saying that they are cheating, but, but you know what? That's like playing somebody on Madden who has 100 wins and 2 losses. You're like, man, I'm not playing this dude.
You always, that's the point where you always go to the settings and you check what the game mode is. I mean, what are we playing on? Because you're just too good right now.
Right. A strong performance, but you got to tip your hat to them for their 4th consecutive Western Division.
Oh, Mike, these dudes are the real deal, man. These Tigers are the real deal. This game is always circle. We can go to the other games and we can look at the other games that Prairie View played, but it's no secret that the Grambling State, the State Fair Classic, is always the game that is circled on Prairie View's schedule because these guys are the real deal. And they play like they're the real deal. They have talent. They have excellent coaching. The recruiting is great. These guys got a very solid program.
Well, the stage is all set right now, December 2nd in Houston, Texas at NRG Stadium. The Tigers of Grambling will be taking on the Braves of Alcorn for the final Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship as we've known it since 1999. They're going to do away with the SWAC Championship. The winner will go on to play at the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, December 16th to take on the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference representation, that being the North Carolina State A&T Aggies. Now, who do you think will win next week and why?
I just got to go with Grambling. I really do. And that's no push off against Alcorn because the things that they showed this year, particularly against Prairie View. But at the same time, I also feel like Prairie View had some self-inflicted wounds in that ball game. But just in comparison to the way that Prairie View played Alcorn, to the way that Grambling played Prairie View, I just feel like Grambling is a more explosive team on both sides of the ball. They play an entire ball game on offense, on defense, on special teams. This team is a real deal. I feel like it is going to be a close game. These teams are very competitive. But ultimately, I have to go with Grambling State winning this game and winning it all and head into the MEAC.
I have 2 words. Devontae Kincaid.
Yes, sir.
He's a man child.
High school.
He's a man child.
Yes, he is.
He can throw. He can run. My thoughts are this. He will get a shot at the NFL. But I believe they will try to put him as some type of receiver.
More than likely, yes, sir.
I believe they will try. He has a strong enough arm to make the throws, though. But I just really believe because of his pure athleticism, it would almost be a waste to have that dude stay at quarterback. That's how talented he is to me.
The fact that you get an opportunity, I don't care where you put me, just let me in.
I know that's right. I'll be the punter.
I'll be on the practice squad. Just let me in.
You say you're thirsty. You hold up. I'll come with some fresh H2O right here for you.
Some fresh H2O. Look, I just got it fresh out the river.
So you got Grambling over Alcorn. We'll let that see how that will simmer through, and then we'll come back and talk about the HBCU championship, where North Carolina A&T will be taking on the winner between Alcorn and Grambling. We will be live from the NRG Stadium next week. Dre and the old man gonna mic it up, do a pregame show, and all depending on how we feel, Dre, we might even do a postgame show after everything, get everything set up, set out. We'll get there, camp in, camp out, get some football. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. The final time, and Dre, I don't think you've ever been to a SWAC championship game, but it's an electric atmosphere. You're going to be thoroughly excited, thoroughly impressed, and it's going to be something that you'll never, ever forget.
I've heard great things about the Southwest Athletic Conference Championship, Mike, both in the sport of football, basketball, and all the other sports, But you are correct. I have never been before. I've never seen it live in person. I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be exciting. It's going to be electric. And I'm really just blessed to have the opportunity to partake in any of the events that we do. I'm pretty sure, I'm more than sure, as a matter of fact, that when we do the pregame show, and depending on how you're feeling, if we do the postgame show, that we're going to have a great time. We're going to put on a great show. And it's just going to be fun and exciting. I'm excited to go. I can't wait.
All right, sir. Well, it's all coming right down the road. And don't forget the Celebration Bowl will be December 16th in the ATL, Hotlanta. If Dre wasn't afraid to fly, we might try to get down there, but you might want to trek that road. That won't be too bad. Maybe we can rent a vehicle and get on down there for that, because we got reservations for that too, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, he said, yeah, I know it. Rah.
I like the clouds.
I know you don't like the clouds. They told me if you're scared, go to church, but we'll talk about that another time. This is the after party, the 1876 postgame show. Panthers victorious over the Texas Southern Tigers by the score of 30-16. The Panthers go on to solidify a 6-5 overall regular season record. Coach Willie Simmons and the Panthers headed to the postseason with the recruiting and everything going. Of course, we'll be wrapping up with Coach Simmons later on this week to talk to him about the season and recap some things that are going on. And you know what? I'm going to try to even get Nico Hollis to see if he could partake in being on. Now, Dre, I'm going to turn back over to these numbers that were put up on tonight, but I want to. I'm about to be a hater for about 1 minute. About 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm on the clock.
1 minute. You got the clock running?
I got the clock running.
The television broadcast tonight was horrible.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Give me your reason.
Horrible. What?
Give me your reason why.
Oh, you're in that agreement, right?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
In a way.
Well, number one, you didn't know. I can understand if you didn't know all the Prairie View players, but you didn't even know the home team players.
You did not know the player, and that was a deal breaker for me too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How much time I got, Dre?
You got 45 seconds.
I got 45 seconds. Okay, you were obviously on another planet throughout the course of the season, but you didn't know anything about either team. They called Nico Holland. They were calling Stubblefield Stubbles all night.
Yes, sir.
All night. And I'm not, I'm done. I said a minute, I'm done. That was absolutely horrible.
Well, all I need is 30 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the things that really bothered me, and this is with the entire programming in itself. When you go for a timeout, you look on the marquee thing. It says Texas Southern Tigers, and it says PVMU Jaguars. So, Mike, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, as I've been told by Jay. But I do know that the Jaguar and the Panther is not the same thing. I mean, they the same color, but they not the same animal, as I've been told.
Well, wait a minute now, Dre. They are in the feline family.
I said they had the same. They under the same umbrella.
Okay, so maybe somebody got a little crossed haired or whatever. But what you expect? That's what you get from Texas.
A Panther is a Panther. A Jaguar is a Jaguar.
I understand. And the Jaguar and the Panthers are not the same color, neither, Dre.
I thought they're both black. Ain't a Jaguar black?
No, a Jaguar is not black. No.
Well, I told you I want the sharpest knife from the door.
Yeah, you just proved that one, right? Oh, man, but it's okay. If you would like to join in with us, we'll try to open up the line for a minute. Don't know if we'll get anybody in, but it's 979-645-0039. 979-645-0039. The Panthers take care of the Texas Southern Tigers to go 6-5 with a 30-16 win. Everything went well. Nico Hollins throws for 319 yards. Panthers ran a lot of the Wildcat, in particular mid-third quarter throughout the most of the game, just to make sure that Nico didn't get hurt and just eat up some clock.
That's called securing what they have for the future. Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's what that's called. They changed up the offensive scheme. Went to the Wildcat. Very rough day for McCray. He only finished with 79 yards rushing and a touchdown, but they fed him quite often. 15 plus carries to be exact.
Right.
He got his work cut out for him. He had to work for them yards today.
Well, there was some tough inside yards.
Yes,
and when you look at it, 15 touches, 79, 80 yards, not a bad return on your investment. That's not a bad return on your investment.
Not at all. I believe that's 4 yards a pop.
Right. I'll take 4 yards a pop all day long and twice on Sunday.
Absolutely.
I would take that. Well, as you mentioned earlier, Nico spread the ball around, a lot of different receivers with touches. And what about the old eligible tackle for the touchdown, Big Boy Coleman, catching the touchdown pass in the flat?
That was an excellent play call by Coach Simmons, by the coaching staff. That was an excellent play call. Texas Southern was expecting to run. They had the jumbo package in. It was an excellent play-action fake. He was wide open. They did not see it coming. That was a great job by the Panthers on that play call. I was very pleased with that.
Yes, sir. And how about the little old fumble-rooski moves? Old Shotgun was pulling it out, and I like that.
Yes, they showed Prairie View showed their swagger on tonight against Texas Southern in Houston, to be exact. It's the last game of the season. It's still the rival between you and TSU. Everything, all the marbles on the table for you and TSU. Both of you all season did not go the way that you intended for it to go. So it was a very emotional game, especially for the seniors. Coach Willie Simmons decided to put the bag of tricks out on the table. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. It's the last game of the season. You don't really have anything to lose. So I was definitely pleased with that play calling. It was actually exciting and entertaining as a viewer.
Absolutely. Now here's the question, Dre. This game, of course, was pushed back because of Hurricane Harvey for the Labor Day weekend. You play it on Thanksgiving weekend, same day as you have the Bayou Classic. The word on the street is this, that the Panthers have accepted the bid for the MEAC SWAC Challenge, which will kick off Labor Day weekend, which means that they're going to have to readjust the readjust the Texas Southern game and either play it on this same weekend as you do with the Bayou Classic, or you can try to be creative with it on how you mix it throughout the course of your regular season. How do you feel about not playing the Labor Day Classic at its traditional time?
Well, for me, I just kind of inherited the entire Labor Day Classic tradition ever since I got here 3 years ago. But from what I've been told by several alumni and people that's been affiliated with Prairie View for a long time, that you definitely attested this as well, that it's a rich tradition to have this Labor Day Classic played, on that Labor Day weekend between Prairie View and TSU. So it's definitely going to be a shakeup if if because of that, if they're not able to play it on the Labor Day weekend. But at the same time, I do feel like this is something that can be easily adjusted, and I feel like a lot of people will be easily adjusted to it. Maybe not the old people that used to have played on the weekends. But for some of the young people like myself, I feel like this is something that, can be, easily adjusted moving forward, and not really putting, a lot of emphasis on it.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we have a lot to look at. Now, here's some things. I think you can work it.
Right.
If you're creative. And here's what I mean. If you wait to put this game on the Thanksgiving Day weekend, I'm thinking you should have it on a Friday.
Why is that?
Number one, you going to be competing against, even though who's going to go to the game is going to go to the game, who's not going to go is not going to go. You're competing against the Bayou Classic, which is a proven stapler, not just for Grambling Southern fans, but for Texas Southern and Prairie View fans. A lot of those fans travel to that Bayou Classic.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, here's another alternative. If you're not going to play the game on the Labor Day Classic, and let me make a side note for those who are going to be up in arms talking about, oh my God, how can you not play the game on Labor Day? For the Panthers accepting the bid to play North Carolina A&T in the SWAC MEAC Challenge, which is the Labor Day weekend in September to kick off the football season, they're going to get $175,000 just to show up.
Yeah, definitely got to throw that out there.
Yeah, ching ching. Can I say that again? Ching ching.
Money.
Yeah, money talk, everything else is going to walk. So if you got a problem with that, you come up with $180,000 and we'll stay home.
Yes, we will. I don't think that's going to happen no time soon.
Well, I mean, so we got to understand. Yes, it's an emotional deal. It's a traditional deal. But we are here to win games, but we're also here to make money.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
thank you.
If that's going to be the case, just imagine this. At least for this next season coming up. You got the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta. The first weekend of October is the State Fair Classic against Grambling. How about if you set Texas Southern to come around the last weekend of October, and then you set your homecoming game in November. That way, you kind of set the tone and maximize your crowds to, i.e., make your money.
Yeah, that's late for a homecoming.
Well, no, that's the way it used to be, though, Dre.
Really now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not used to homecoming in November.
Man,
that's interesting.
The first weekend of November or either the last game. I mean, you could really want to get creative. You could make homecoming and senior day your last game whenever your last home game of the season is.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But I think it depends on if they don't have a good start of the season, we're gonna have to schedule another one in Bacone colleges.
That's given though. I mean, you can schedule
even things out.
You can schedule a D3, D2 program to assure a good day. But what I'm saying is you make everything fit. You be creative and make your money. Texas Southern and Prairie View, that's going to give a draw. Homecoming is going to give a draw. Okay, State Fair is going to give a draw. You'll have Southern next year. That's going to give a draw. So at home next season, you will have Southern, you will have Texas Southern, you will have, if I'm not mistaken, who will it be? I think it's going to be, we played Jackson State at home this year. you'll have, I think Alabama A&M will be home with us this year. So, I mean, you can make it work.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely.
But we'll see about that a little bit later on. Panthers victorious tonight, 30-16. Now there was a lot of penalties on tonight, Dre.
I think a lot is an understatement, Mike.
How many penalties was it, Dre?
It was for Prairie View and Texas Southern, or just Prairie View?
Give me the total, then separate them.
Because you had 30 penalties tonight.
30?
30.
Wow.
30 penalties.
Okay.
17 for Prairie View and 13 for TSU.
How many penalty yards for Prairie View?
179 yards.
Wow. Do you realize, Dre, that 179 yards is basically 2 touchdowns almost?
Pretty much. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
2 touchdowns and 1 touchdown and a field goal for sure. And how many yards for Texas Southern?
112.
That's a touchdown.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of those definitely came in the first half. It was definitely self-inflicting wounds in the first half. It's a wonder that they still, of course, due to a penalty at the end of the second quarter that put them in good field position to score. But it's a wonder with all those mistakes in the first half that they still was up 14-3 at halftime.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? We've seen what happens to the Panthers in the second quarter throughout the course of the season. So you won't get any empathy from me. None. I was just glad that at least for once we was on the right side of the second quarter. So I wasn't that didn't bother me any. We're talking about Texas Southern, man. I can't have empathy for them.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's a rival game.
It's a rival game. It's a good rival game. I don't have no hate. As a matter of fact, we did a show this week with the voice for the Texas Southern Tigers, Larry Chatterbox Hale, and I got to call him back for a recap. We had a little fun jousting at each other, and he had to eat a whole bunch of crow tonight, a whole bunch of crow, because they really didn't have a chance. That's why I was upset when the Panthers gave up that little long touchdown run. I was really upset, Dre.
That still bothered you, huh?
That bothered me, man. You got to finish the job. You got to finish the job, Dre.
Mike doesn't care if it's 1 second, 0.1 second milliliters on the clock. You still got to get the job done.
You play to win the game. Right?
They did win.
No, you got to play all facets of the game. You can't have a letdown. You can't have. There's an old saying: if I give you an inch, you want to take a mile. If I give you a rope, you think you're a cowboy. You got to shut it down, Gray.
They won't like you as a coach. Yeah, Coach Prince, it's just a second left on the clock.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. You got to finish it to the end. To the end, Judge. To the end. Well, Dre, it has been a topsy-turvy season.
Oh, man.
6-5, though. 6-5. We could be saying 5-6.
Yes, that is a winning record.
We could have been saying 3-8. But it's 6-5. Give us an assessment of your season.
Oh, my goodness. A huge roller coaster season for me, and especially for the Panthers. Honestly, just didn't win the games that you need to win. That's really what this season boiled down to. That being Grambling, Alcorn, and Southern. Those 3 losses on your schedule were detrimental, in my opinion, in terms of moving forward. It started with Grambling, State Fair Classic. Very shaky game for the Panthers. I personally was not expecting a loss that following week against Alcorn. But at the same time, that's why you still have to go out there and play. And then that Southern game, we talk about Southern all the time. That's always a toss-up game for me with Prairie View. It's always they can be Southern if, in my opinion. If they do this, if they do that, then they can be Southern. It's always that toss-up. But ultimately what it boiled down for me is that they didn't They didn't win the games that mattered. Coach Simmons shook some things up, bringing in Nico Hollins and Alcorn State game, and ultimately, as we've been saying, he is your guy moving forward. Hopefully, they can build around him for the future. But just in terms of this season, just didn't win the games they need to win.
That's it.
And it's unfortunate that the SWAC is set up that way, but it is. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, you can't complain how it is. Now, here's something that I've been an advocate for. Since you're going to dissolve the championship game, there's no need for East and West anymore, in my opinion. So you might as well have, everybody lined up. You go back to everybody playing each other, or if you still want to do the 7-game rotation, that's fine. But you have it now where if you're the top dog, you're the top dog. You represent the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl, just like they have it set up in the MEAC, and let the dust settle where the dust is going to settle. But go ahead and get rid of that East and West stuff and just let them ball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Let them ball. My assessment of this season would be hit and miss, a little too late of the bells going off and the lights turning on at the time they need to turn on. This team took a lot of time trying to identify who they really were and what their approach would be. But when they finally got it together, they were a beautiful work in poetry in motion.
Now, my question for you, Mike, if Nico Hollins is your guy at the beginning of the season, do you still go 6-5?
No.
You don't go 6-5.
You don't go 6-5. No. Let me explain. Nico, by far, is, and then he said that Brady is his idol.
Yeah.
His style is that of Brady. He's not a running threat.
No.
Now you got to go back and look at this thing too. The offensive line was a train wreck for the first 5 weeks of the season. Offensively, Nico would have gotten killed because he's not a mobile quarterback.
Yes, sir.
You have McCullers in there who is athletic, 6'5", that alone. 220 pounds, 230 pounds, running 4.5s, 4.4s. That's a freak of nature, man.
Yes, it is.
He gave what you needed with what you had up front. If Nico was starting, I said no, maybe a little prematurely. If Nico was starting at the beginning of the season, he may have gotten hurt because the line was that bad. The offensive line play really was still a patchwork even tonight, but it was to the point to where it had gotten better. Those first 5 weeks was hide and go seek. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, you do. Yeah.
So when you break this thing down, you have to go with McCullers. McCullers look good in the spring. McCullers look good in the fall. McCullers just didn't make the key plays he needed to make on the throws, but his pocket presence and escapability was magnificent.
And I feel like that's one of the things that the coaching staff looked at and decided to take a chance on him anyway. Because as you said, the pocket presence was good, just the accuracy and wasn't able to make the key throws that you needed. But the fact that he presented those qualities, I feel like that alone was enough. And what he brought into the table from his last school was enough for the coaching staff to take a chance on him at the start of the season.
Yes, sir. And so that's why, if you notice, if you go back to day one when we've been, tracking and monitoring the season, my harp has been the line play. My concern was the line play. You played 3 freshmen, true freshmen, on your line this year. True freshmen. They wasn't scheduled to be in, but because of ineligibilities, because of injuries, they were thrown into the fire, and you have to work with it. And I don't care who you are, how much of a man you are, when you get put in Division I level football, and things are moving faster than what you've been accustomed to at high school. I don't care who you are. It's a faster game. And if you think this is fast, go to FBS. And if you think this is fast, go to the NFL. You got what I'm saying? So it was about adjusting. And you could see the line play adjust. Now, Nico wouldn't have taken as many sacks as McCullers would have or did because of his ability to just get rid of the ball. Just throw it.
Exactly.
You got what I'm saying? So, it's easy to say that, you got to think he would have done better. The dude threw 20 touchdowns coming in the 5th week of the season. It'll make you want to cuss. Like, good Lord.
Y'all been hiding.
What y'all been on? But it's easy to go back and say that, but when you're looking at what's unfolding, because a lot of people see you got to go. The season's over with now, right? Let's just be honest. People are like, well, why ain't Jalen start? Man, Jalen looked like a train wreck in the spring.
He didn't look ready.
He looked like a train wreck in the fall.
Yeah.
What he did last year coming in to replace Trey Green was beautiful, poetry in motion. And you would have thought that you would have seen some progression when it came. You didn't see progression. Now, I didn't want to say that during the course of the season because I don't want nobody to think, man, you're throwing the kid under the bus. I'm not throwing the kid under the bus, but people that don't come to the practices, the people that don't sit in the trenches, they sit from the outside looking in. They can tell you what should be going on, but they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those deals where, but the dude, and I'm talking about Jalen now, the dude is an athlete.
Absolutely.
And if you can play receiver and you're going to help this team and help yourself possibly make it to the next level, then a route running I will go.
Oh, yeah, and I think they gave us a little peek at that this season, or midway through this season. But at the end of the day, I definitely agree with you. And then as far as McCullers is concerned, I mean, you don't bring a JUCO guy in and not expect to play him. So that's the deal right there.
Well, so, McCullers, that's going to fall on McCullers. There's a thing called competition, and it's going to drive you or draw you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he still has one more. He has another year, to definitely prove that he's worthy to be here, as we figured he would be when we brought him in last year in the off season. And again, he's an athlete. We've seen enough from this kid to know that there's, especially with the guys that we're going to be losing on the offense, there's somewhere we can put you now.
Hey, man, look here.
We gotta put you somewhere.
Look here, man. If the truth be told, if Nico stays healthy, I go get 2 more quarterbacks, and I put both of my other quarterbacks at them receiver spots. Y'all go get it. Could you imagine McCullers running some slants and some posts and some skinnier post routes?
I already have.
Man, you better call the doctor because somebody about to get sick.
I already have.
But that's why we have the mic. We don't have a clipboard and the charts and the whistles.
Nope.
We don't do all that because it's easy to talk. I just got on folks talking about, what should be going on. But it's easy to look from over here, and say, hey, y'all ought to do this, y'all ought to do that. But that's what they pay them the big bucks for, and that's what we open this mic up for. Let them do what they do. We're going to do what I do. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. He is that man, Andre Davis. Dre, tell them how they can get in contact with you on your social media, man.
They can follow me on Twitter at @that_man_Dre. And I'm also on Instagram at Mr. Andre Davis, all lower caps.
@_man_Dre. Boy, that's too much work, man. Too much work.
You know how Twitter is. You got to be,
Okay.
You don't want you putting nothing just simple. You got to be different with
I do understand. Look, my handles, ladies and gentlemen, are very much simple. To the T. I am the Radio Guy at Twitter. On Instagram, it is Radio Guy 22. The website, of course, is obnradio.com. Don't forget, you can listen to 24-hour programming 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, with the exception if there's a leap year, 366 days. All you have to do is dial 605-477-5066. You can pick up streaming anywhere in the country. Save your data. You don't have to worry about streaming and eating up stuff. You can lock it in on your phone and listen to quality programming. We cover everything from the rooter to the tutor when it comes to sports, whether it's local, regional, high school, JUCO, or FCS college sports. We are the voice of student athletics. Until the next time, be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.